And all of you are good people. All of you are wonderful people. All of you come from different backgrounds and different upbringings. And all of you come from different types of thoughts. But deep down inside, we're all people. And we want one thing. We want to have a happy mind. And we want to make people around us happy. And we want to be very healthy. And of course, we want to be successful. Successful, different types of success. And we also want to have a fruitful life. And we also want to have a life that's distant from wars and disease and difficulties. And sometimes we may not be able to achieve that on the outside. But what's more important is to have a happy state of mind. If we have a happy state of mind, whether you have going through a war or whether you're sitting home watching TV, your mind will be calm and filled with wisdom. And you'll be able to guide yourself and others and lead yourself and others. So having a calm state of mind. Calm doesn't mean, oh, you can't shout. Doesn't mean you don't get excited. Doesn't mean if you watch a ball game, your team wins, you can't scream. No, that doesn't mean. Calm means what? Listen carefully. Calm isn't just calm. Calm is calm abiding. Calm abiding is what? Is a state of mind that never moves from not wanting to inflict harm or engage in actions that inflict harm. So calm abiding mind can be manifested as a calm, contemplative, meditative mind, but not necessary. A calm mind is a mind that does not ever stray or engage in actions. Motivations that bring damage to oneself, short and long term, and others. And that's a calm mind. And those states of mind definitely can be achieved through education, through learning, through education and learning, rehabilitation. Everything that you can do now, everything that you are good at, everything that you are proud of, everything that you have accomplished, everything you are familiar with, is through habituation, through learning. Everything that you know now was not easy in the beginning. Even chewing food right now was not easy when you were a small child. I'm sure you bit your tongue. I still bite my tongue. But it's through habituation now you can just put the food in your mouth and you don't need to think, you just chew. Walking. Anything that you have accomplished in your life, everything that you have in your life, business, dressing, grooming, came from habituation. So since habituation is the key, it is the key to happiness and unhappiness. You can change the environment around you hundreds of times. You can change the people around you. You can change your dress, your country. You can change your car. You can change anything that you do around you. But nothing changes, although it seems like everything has changed. Why? How many times have we switched ourselves around and seen that we fall back into the same situation? Think about it. And people feel that if they run away from a certain situation, if they threaten to run away from a certain situation, things will change. How can things change? If you're wearing an orange shirt, wherever you go, it's an orange shirt. If you're wearing a yellow shirt, if you're wearing a blue shirt, a white shirt, wherever you go, the shirt is the same. Similarly, your mind is like that. Your mind is like that. Therefore, if you don't transform your mind, then nothing around you will transform. If nothing around you transforms, if you're in a difficult situation, you can't expect that situation to dissipate. You can't expect that situation to go away. Whether it's bad health, whether it's bad temper, whether it's a bad relationship, whether it's a bad disharmony problem, whatever problems you're having will not go away unless you remove the cause. And the cause is within ourselves. How do we remove that cause? That cause can be removed not by mantras, not by rituals, not by prayers, not by miracles, not by Tibetan lamas touching you on the head, not by initiations, not by go visiting holy sites, not by chanting or reading. That mind that you have in you that actually creates some of the unhappiness in your lives along with the happiness can only be removed by changing our habituation or rehabituating. And why is New Year's resolutions very strong? New Year's resolutions are very strong because we feel it's a new year, we want to have a new start, we want to change something about ourselves that we don't like. So what happens is, if we rehabituate ourselves, it's a very big struggle because we've been doing something very comfortably and naturally for many years now. So if someone tells us a different way, for some of us we react in anger, some of us we react in patience, some of us we react in regret, and some of us react in embarrassment, and we can have all kinds of reactions. But the fact that we have a reaction is irking something within us. So therefore, rehabituation of the mind is the key to all of our problems. And that may sound very monumental to all of you. I'm not making a monumental sweeping statement. I'm making a very logical statement. So therefore, if we have diseases, whether they can be healed or not, during the time of our disease, how we react to the people, our caretakers, the people around us, ourselves in relations to others, is the key to happiness. Some people may have disease and they have this many years. Some people don't have disease, they still have this many years or less. What's the difference? There was a monk in a monastery I saw who went to one of my great teachers. And he'd been experiencing problems with his heart. And this teacher's renowned for telling the future with his divination dice, because he's been in meditation on Yamataka for 15 years in Bhutan. And what happens is that this Lama told him exactly his problem, which he's not even a doctor, and told him that he has a very short time to live. He gave him a time span. And the monk was very worried. That monk completely changed himself. He completely transformed and changed himself, and we observed that he engaged in intense prostration retreats, 100,000 prostrations. He engaged in intense meditation retreats and practices. And do you know what? His heart problem is solved. He's still alive. The doctors are baffled. I saw this with my own eyes. This is not the only case. This is not the only case. When the person has a karma to be alive and to live, and there are obstacles, the obstacles can be removed. If the person does not have the karma to live or to be alive, they will die. But what happens before that is very, very important. If we look around us, if we really are very honest with ourselves, very, very honest, if we examine the difficulties we have in our lives, where did it come from? Who gave it to us? Who created it? We have to be very honest. In the silence of our rooms alone with our minds, we have to think, was I the cause and the author of all of this? If we're very honest with ourselves, most likely. Because you can work in a negative job situation. You can work in a job situation where someone is very negative, very angersome, and always is having attitude problem or fighting. But how you react to that person is how that person will react back to you in the future. If you react back to that person the way they react to you, you're at their level. And it gets worse. If you react positively to that person, in time it will break the person down. And if they even want to harm you, they won't think about harming you anymore. And it's more effort. But you have to think like that. Why do I always have to be the nice guy? Why do I always have to be the good guy? Why do I always have to be the nice guy? Why do I always have to be one that step out first? Because you're the one that wants happiness. You're the one that wants to develop your mind. You're the ones that want to improve your mind. You're the ones that want to create harmony and inner peace and world peace. So those of you who want happiness and harmony and, very carefully, healing of your body, those of you who want healing of your body, it starts with your mind. I'm not going to give you some BS theory that you don't go for doctors, you don't go for dieting or anything, and you don't. Triden Macheva, in Tibetan we say, Triden Macheva means don't take care of yourself. No. The mind is very important. Very, very important. If we have a problem, please count on that you have more problems. If you have people problems, okay, I'll give you something to check on. If you have people problems, you have problems with people, the chances are that wherever you go, whoever you meet, you're going to have problems with people. Why? Everybody cannot be wrong, and you're right. Impossible. That's not, I'm giving you Buddha's teachings, but listen to it. It's applicable today, it's very logical. And I'm not stuffing Buddha down your throat. You accept Buddha, today I sprinkled water on you, I'm John the Baptist here in reincarnated form, my head went back onto my head, whatever, and I sprinkled some water and you accept the Buddha and you're saved. That ain't gonna work. None of you are gonna be saved, I'm not gonna be saved. You know how many people accepted Jesus and Buddha and all that, they're not saved. Saving doesn't come from an outer source, it comes from yourself. They are guides, they lead us, they inspire us, but they can't take away our sufferings to give us happiness. If they could, the world would be fabulous. I don't think Jesus Christ or Buddha would lead the world the way it is now. That proves to us they don't have the power to take away anything or give us anything, but they have the power to inspire, to teach by example, and if we follow, results will come. Definitely results will come. Whether it's Muhammad, whether it's Krishna, whoever. And that's very important. So, if we have problems with people at work, most likely we will have problems everywhere we go with everyone. Everywhere. If someone says that we're stingy or we're miserly, and then we move to another situation, new people will come and say the same thing, we're stingy and miserly, because who we are will manifest. Definitely. If we are, lazy and we don't want to do work and we leave the work for other people and we want to look good, wherever we go, someone will speak up, someone will say something, say, hey, you're like that. So, however we are, there are no shortcuts. There are no shortcuts whatsoever to the path of happiness and freedom. Why is there no shortcuts? Because shortcuts offer a symptomatic treatment. It doesn't remove the cause. Shortcuts only remove the symptoms. So if we're angry with someone, if we're angry with a situation, we're angry with our parents or whatever, staying away from them doesn't take away the anger. Staying away from them is a symptomatic relief, but it doesn't take away the anger. And the anger will build and grow and increase. People who are miserly or stingy, They may move to another place, or they may go around people who are very generous, and they may be around people who always pay for things and take care of them, are very generous, and they're very giving. But being around people who are very giving will increase and magnify your miserliness and stinginess, contrary to what you think. You think, oh, I got a free ride, I got a free food, a free meal, I got free this and free that, whatever. And I really did well today because I saved money. But if you're around generous people all the time, the more generous they are, the more your miserliness will be magnified. So the solution is what? Is around other miserly people? No, then nobody does anything. Everybody sits there and looks around, drinks out of a public fountain or whatever, and gets a little paper cup, gets water, and sit at the park and talk, and we save money, isn't happy today? That's what we talk about. So that doesn't solve the problem either. If we're sick and we have something wrong with us, blaming germs, blaming people who cough in us and breathe in us, blaming the environment, blaming the people doesn't help either, because the problem is you're sick. You have to get well. My point is not the sickness, not the miserliness or the people or the anger or the difficulties we have people. My point is this. It's time to look within. It's time to look at your own mind. It's time to see how your mind operates. And if you're having the same problem again and again, again and again and again and again, you need to check what you're doing in your mind that is wrong. Wrong meaning, listen carefully, not you're a bad person. No one here is bad. I don't believe in that kind of thinking. No one here should have walk out with low self-esteem. The crazy lama on the throne told me I'm bad, I'm going to hell. You don't need that. You've heard enough of that. Everybody tells you that. So I'm going to tell you different. You're going to go to heaven. And when you get there, don't forget me. You're going to go to heaven. So what I'm trying to tell you is this, is that look at your mind. And I'm giving general teachings now. I'm not getting specific. Look at your mind. Look at how your mind operates. When someone says something negative to you that you don't like, how do you react? How do you react? And they may be wrong in what they say to you. That's fine. But are you right in reacting back negatively? Takes two hands to clap. So if they react negatively to you, and you react back that way, you're just the same as them. But you say, but they started it first, but you continued it. What's the difference? You see, you can ignore the whole world and be enemy with the whole world. You can do that. But it's much easier if we're friends with everybody. You know what's very easy? When we look into our mind and say, I'm a human being, I make mistakes too, and I'm sorry. The most famous mantra in Tibet is Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum is 6 syllables. It represents liberating by the power of compassion into the 6 realms of samsara. Hell, spirits, animal, human, demi, and gods. 6 realms. And Om Mani Padme Hum relates to each of the realms. When we recite that tremendously, we gain the power and ability to generate compassion into the 6 realms and all beings that exist there. And on top of that, actually gain the ability to help people in the 6 realms. So Om Mani Padme Hum is a very powerful mantra for the bodhisattva of compassion, Avalokiteshvara, or Chenezik in Tibetan. So therefore, that is a very powerful mantra. Everybody in Tibet, from little kids to old people, everybody will recite that. And you know what's incredible is that I read recently that old ladies with great faith who recited 10 million Om Mani Padme Hum, their teeth grew back. Can you imagine that? Now you know why we don't have dentists in Tibet. Because we're like Om Mani Padme Hum. I gotta tell this to my friend Fat Monk. The guy doesn't have much teeth in the front. I'm not putting down, I mean, miracles do still happen, you know. People are people. It's just that whether we're attuned to it or not. Anyways, that's a very powerful mantra in Tibet. But I think there's a more powerful mantra today. The mantra is much more powerful. That is to think inside to let the other person win. And the word should be I'm sorry. And I'm sorry should not be a robotic, monosyllabic, dry, cold, fake, I'm sorry. You know, some people, they go and go, yeah, all right, you're right, I'm sorry, you have it. And then when you say to them, well, why? They say, well, I apologize. I said, I'm sorry. Or they scribble it out, they're really nice and right, They write a nice little letter. You can't really read it. I'm sorry. And then you didn't sign it. Yeah. That's not it. People who say I'm sorry from the heart, it's not that you're necessarily sorry because you're right or wrong. By habituation, we might have done something to make someone unhappy. So if you're sorry, what are you sorry about? Someone's unhappy. If you made a mistake, I'm sorry. It's very pervasive. So we say a lot today in the modern world, I'm sorry. I mean, you don't run around being a sorry, sad sack. You know, I'm sorry. And then you don't do nothing in your life and sit there in the corner and wait for people to support you and throw food at you. No, and they say, I'm sorry. That's ridiculous. Don't go that way. Don't go extreme this way, that way. But if you run around and you deal with people, I guarantee you, if you say this very powerful mantra, I am sorry, and you look them in the eye and you mean it, it diffuses everything. It doesn't mean you lose. Immediately it may look like, oh, you lost face, you look stupid, you say sorry. No, you will look at the reaction around you. And you look at once, you look at twice, look at 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. You know what happens? People will come and fold their hands to you and say, I'm sorry to you. And it takes us to make the first move. Why should we make the first move? Let me reiterate again. Because we want happiness. If you're having a little fight with a little kid, you can't expect a little kid to say, I'm sorry, or come and talk to you and pat you on the back, can you? You're an adult. You're bigger. Your mind is bigger. Especially if you've heard the Dharma. If you're a good Christian, you're a good Buddhist, you're a good Jew, you're a good Muslim, you're a good Hindu, you're a good person, you're a good atheist, whatever, you're a good person. A good person's quality is to step out first. Why do they step out first? Because they want to make themselves and everybody happy. They like to diffuse the situation. And that example can be used, that example I use because that's the first teaching I received from His Holiness the Dalai Lama, 1976. I was very young. That was the very first teaching I received, the 8 verses of thought transformation in Washington, New Jersey. It was beautiful. And this is what His Holiness taught us. I remember clearly. We should make the first move. We should say the first thing. And we should continue it. Why? And it should be a first move without motive, agenda, or a face or pride from the heart. Why? Because we want happiness. We want to be better. We want to improve our lives. And we cannot improve our lives in non-dependence of people around us. Who is a rock and an island and they live on their own? This is not a Simon and Garfunkel song. Who I am a rock, I am an island, you know, who's that? Nobody. We're social animals. We need people. We need to hang around people. We need to make money with people. We need to, make food with people. We need people. We need to be around people. Unless you're, Jane Leakey, hang out with the gorillas or something for 20 years. But I need people. So what's my point? I'm not Jane Leakey, and neither are you. And some of you look like monkeys, but you're not monkeys. I won't say who. I know what the thing is that you look like a monkey too. Okay, we're all monkeys. I don't care. But I'm a tall monkey. You're not. No, I'm just kidding. Here I got a big hang up about tall. I didn't have a big hang up till I came here. They said, oh, you're so tall. I'm like, I am? Okay, I'm tall. So what happens is, my point of this conversation is I want to give all of you an introduction. And I want to give you the atmosphere of how we share Dharma together. And I want to give you a feeling of, you don't sit there, what's going on, chant, we ring bells, you can't say anything, you gotta sit there all holy, and then by the time we finish our meditation session, we gotta carry you off because your legs are stuck. No, I'm not doing that. I want all of you to be yourselves, and I want to give you a general introduction, and I want to tell you the theme, and I want to show you our style. And I think my style will appeal to all of you because I'm just like you. I want words of wisdom. I don't want someone telling me what's right and wrong without explaining to me. And I want time to improve myself, to become better. I'm a good person, but I'm going to be even better. Why? The better I am, the more successful I can be. And it doesn't matter if you're 108 years old, or it doesn't matter if you're 8 years old, or 15 years old, or 28 years old, like me. Anyways, you can all improve. All of you. Don't forget 28. Anyways, all right, 31 more. People, you guys are too smart, huh? Next time, don't come here with glasses and contact lenses. So, my style is like this. We talk, and we share, and we learn. And I'm going to give you profound knowledge that has been very much in Shangri-La, or Shambhala, Tibet. But I'm going to give it to you in your language, in English, in your capacity, meaning what? with your examples. I'm not giving you examples, 15,000 years ago. Who cares? I don't care. I'm not giving you 2 examples what you should do like in Tibet. They did like that. You should do like that. You're not in Tibet. There's no Tibet. You guys watch. There's electricity here. So this is our style. This is our style. We're going to do some things traditional because there's not everything I can twist around and pervert and mess up, But the teaching style I can twist around, pervert, and mess up. But the actual prayers and rituals that are from Ganden. So I like to talk about the mind. I like to talk about how to improve the mind. And I like to talk about how to create happiness and harmony all around us. And we have a great journey ahead to learn. Tonight, we're going to do when we get empowered into one of the Anuttara Yoga Tantras. There are 4 classes of Tantra. Charya, Kriya, Yoga, and Anuttara Yoga Tantras. Lame in Tibetan we call it. The highest of the Ana Yoga Tantras are Chakra Samvara Heruka, Vajragini, Uya Samaja, Kala Chakra, Yamataka, Hevajra, Chitta Manitara, Gyawa Gyatso, Jinana Sargara. Those are the highest classes of Tantra. Why are they high? Because in these classes of Tantra, for qualified people, you in fact use the passions, use the anger, use desire, use all of the passions. Instead of suppressing it, it is transformed into the qualities of a deity. And those are possible for people who are qualified to engage in those. And they're the fastest and highest because in today's world, suppressing something is much more harder than using something. So last time during Buddha's time, suppressing something was very easy because very little outer distractions. Very little. We can sit in our little apartment, we can be all holy and nice and we pray and meditate. And the minute we go outside, we're just, it's visual rape. We get raped every day visually. Everywhere we look, there's all these distractions, all these people we're attracted to, all this clubs, fun, weekend, friends, everything. We get visually raped, so you're in your little room in front of your little shrine, you have a great picture of Lord Buddha, and of course you have my picture there. If you don't, come see me. Anyways, you have an image of Lord Buddha, you bought from one of our outlets, okay? Get the addresses from the back, free advertisement one. And you have beautiful Buddha, and you put your candles, and your little bell, ding, you're very new age, and maybe from some of you, a rainbow comes out of your ear, out of your anus, I don't know. And for me, no rainbows anywhere. I got 9 orifices, not 1 rainbow. Just a fart sometimes. Anyways, so you're all meditating, you're chanting Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani 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 Shakyamuni, or Lama Tsongkhapa's mantra, Om Manabhasa Nadi, Om Manabhasa. You do great meditation, you do great prayer, and you're all in peace, you're all happy, you're visualizing Shangri-La mountains, and you're astral traveling here and there, and then you finish your meditation. You go take a bath, you go to work, you feel fabulous and wonderful. The minute you step outside, the minute you get to the office, everything bombards your senses. Everything takes you away from everything you meditate on. And why is that? Habituation. That's one. Second, in Buddhistic practice, in the higher tantras, now listen very carefully. I'll give you a hint because we're going to be talking about that in the future. In the higher tantra practices, it's not about your meditation sessions for 1 hour or 45 minutes on the cushion that you're all holy and you're fabulous and you're clean and you're ringing your bells and you're doing all types of rituals and you're wearing some fancy smancy clothes or whatever from Tibet. That's not what makes you holy. You see, it's when you leave your meditation cushion for the next 23 hours of the day, how you act and how you react and how you talk and how you do and conduct your life is the real spiritual practice. And people get that mixed up. People feel the meditation cushion and my life is different. No, meditation cushion doesn't mean all of you have to take off your clothes, run around Pokip and down naked and say I'm ascetic and rub wood ashes all over you. Well, I'm a Tibetan Buddhist and I'm not attached. I'll see you in Pudu jail or whatever jail is. I don't know. I'll come visit you, bring some nasi lemak for you. No. You see, meditation cushion and your life, there's no separation. Meditation cushion is where you contemplate, breathe in, feed in, and recharge for the day. Whether it's some mantras that you reverberate to move the winds in your body, to enact compassion. Depends on what mantras. Mantras are very effective. Very effective. I'll explain why. They're very effective. They're not some mystical just chanting. They have psychological and physiological effects on our body. Scientifically proven also, but who cares? I believe in Buddha. I don't need a scientist, doctor, whatever, telling me this and that. But when you do a certain mantra, it depends on what mantra. It can activate protective energies within you. It can activate wisdom energies within you. It can activate forgiving energy within you. It can activate memory energies in you. And there are even mantras and meditation to help you recall previous lives. It will all come through practice and meditation. Why? Mantras are not the power. Mantras are a method to open and unlock yourself inside. And there are different mantras. Example, if we're very ill and we're very sick, there are very, very powerful mantras that we can combine with visualization and recitation. The body will be pushed to heal itself, combined with traditional healing. So if it takes us 6 months to heal, maybe it'll be faster, 4, 3, depends on our meditation. That alone, no, together, is very, very powerful. Example, Lama Tsongkhapa is famed in Tibet. Lama Tsongkhapa statues are the biggest in Tibet. China too. If you go to Beijing, Yonghe Gong Temple, the biggest image there is Lama Tsongkhapa, built by Emperor Qinglong currently. Lama Tsongkhapa's teachings already pervaded China many years ago. Cultural revolution, things happened. So my point is this, is that now Lama Tsongkhapa is pervading the West all over. There are Dharma centers. There's over 900 Dharma centers now, whose main object of meditation is Lama Tsongkhapa. All over. All over the world. You get on the net, you take a look. I'm connected. And not to them, but I'm connected to that information. Lama Tsongkhapa in Tibet, they built biggest and highest and the largest. Huge, because he is the most efficient for our times. Why is that? Meditation and concentration upon Lama Tsongkhapa's physical form. Listen very carefully. And there's more logic behind it, but I'm going to be general. Meditation on Lama Tsongkhapa's physical form purifies negativities of the body, heals diseases, opens up the energy channels within us. We have 72,000 wind channels in our body that are combined into 5 different energy points that interlace. And these energy points can be activated and opened by doing meditation on Lama Tsongkhapa. And when you open that, for what? To float in the air, to live in the snow and dry out a wet blanket with the scientists and they're looking at you? No, no, no. Lama Tsongkhapa is famed for healing one's body, for healing one of disease, for healing one of physical problems. And Lama Tsongkhapa's meditation and Lama Tsongkhapa's practice is very, very powerful for depression, for low self-esteem, for unhappiness. Very, very powerful. This is well known. I mean, among many benefits, this is well known. That's why I find it very applicable for people today, because everything on the outside is getting better, but everything on the inside is still the same. Pretty much the same. So Lama Tsongkhapa meditation, mantric practice, focus, visualization is very, very powerful over an extended period of time for healing, for rejuvenation for your body. That's just on a normal level, for activating your body's energies to heal itself. And on top of that, it heals depression. It heals mental unhappiness. And for certain people, mental imbalance. I'm not talking about one that went completely cuckoo, the one that flew over the cuckoo's nest. You bring him up, Tsongkhapa too late already. You tell people don't run across the street. Once they run across, you get run over. What do you tell them? Nothing. So people got run over, don't bring them to me. I can't help them. But most of you have not flown over that nest yet. Some of you are midair over the nest. Yeah. I won't point any fingers. But as the one sitting in the door with the funny Rod Stewart hair and the blue shirt. Okay, very powerful over an extended period of time. This meditation, this recitation combined with the study of the mind and rehabituating our habits, you will see your mind change. You will see things around you that you didn't see before. You'll appreciate things that you didn't appreciate before. No disrespect. You'll see your minds completely lightened and open up. It will happen. I know this because I've witnessed many people that happened to. Many, many people. I met one monk who told me that he escaped from Tibet. No, he didn't tell me. Yeah, he told me because I went to meet him. I met this monk who does only Lama Tsongkhapa's meditation and practice in Drepung Monastery. He's very simple. And he told me that he was unhappy for years. I said, but you're a monk. He said, yeah, but I'm unhappy. I'm always depressed, I'm always unhappy, I'm always nervous, I'm always not secure. Always, he told me. I was thinking, oh, okay. And an evil thought occurred to me. I was thinking about if you meditated like me, you wouldn't be unhappy, would you? But of course I didn't tell him that because I didn't want to show off. Anyways, so I said, what happened? He said he went to meet his guru, Demolochi Rinpoche, also my guru. And Demolochi Rinpoche did a divination, said to him simply, engage in Lama Tsongkhapa practice and retreats, that's it. He said, no pujas, no. And he did that. And now, when I met him, he says, he's already old, he says, I'm very happy. I said, why? He says, I don't know. He says, I'm content with what I have. I'm content my body's healthy. I'm content I can do my practices. I'm content I don't bring harm to others. I'm content that I have what I need to live and survive. I'm content that I can share this with other people. And I said, what do you do now? He says, all I do is mitsema. Mitsema is Lama Tsongkhapa's mantra, that's it. I said, that's it? You don't do any of that? I thought it was some weird exotic meditation with a lot of legs, a lot of arms and deities on fire with consorts, 2 consorts. We all love it. We all love things on fire with a consort. That's Tibetan one. He didn't. He meditated on Lama Tsongkhapa, no consort, no fire, just a nice holy monk like Shakyamuni smiling at him. And he told me he became very happy. And when you're in that, he's not getting paid for this. He doesn't go on Oprah or anything. He's not writing a book. He's not being average. He doesn't get anything. He's a simple monk in a simple room. There's no reason for him to lie to me. Why would someone tell me I'm happy when they're not happy? Why? He doesn't get anything. So I check the situation. I look at the situation. I look at the whole thing because I'm a skeptic. Yes, I'm Dharma and Buddhist and blah blah blah. I'm a skeptic too. I need some proof. And proof is when people say I'm happy, they're happy. And you look at his face. You look at the lines. Is it happy lines or unhappy lines? My face you can't tell because, there is no lines. None at all. And when the lines appear, I know what to do. There's a special mantra called plastic surgeon who cares. And I am American. I will go in for a lunch, a tuck and a nip, a little cut, a little stitch, a little suck here and there. As Dolly Parton says, it's a lot of work looking this cheap. So, anyways, where was I before you interrupted me? Oh yeah, he said he was very happy. And I looked at him and I said, wow. And that's not the only monk. I met another monk who is very, very ill. I know you guys are not going to like this, but there's different meaning in Tibet. I met another monk that was very ill in Ganden. Very sickly, very thin. Let me see. Okay, you see this Tibetan guy, this Jesus Christ? Doesn't he look like Jesus Christ, by the way? Anyway, Jesus Christ is quite thin. He's wearing a shirt, he's hiding it. He takes it off, trust me. You think we just dug him out of a cemetery. He's really thin. And he just eats and eats, and someone says, oh, I can't eat much. I'm like, don't you hate people like that? Anyways, really sickly and thin, and his guru told him to do a Lama Tsongkhapa retreat. There are many methods told him to do that. It fit him. And you know what? The guy put on weight. He became healthy. He became very well. Over a year's time. I was like, oh my God. What happened? I feel very good now. I'm very healthy. And you're thinking, oh my God, I'm not going to do Lama Tsongkhapa. It's going to make me fat. You see, fat in Tibet means health. But it doesn't have to manifest here in Malaysia. We don't all walk around looking like Lydia Sum in Hong Kong. Or, I don't know, let me see who, I can't think of anybody big. Okay, Drew Carey show, that lady with the funny makeup, I don't know her name. No, we're all not going to look like her when we do Lama Tsongkhapa. Health is different and manifests differently. My point is this, I met people. If you do Lama Tsongkhapa's practice and mantra and you do it well, it doesn't bring you to enlightenment. It doesn't solve your problem. It's not a miracle drug. It's not a miracle God. But it has special formulas and special words and vibrations in it that enact or activate your own healing energies for body and mind. Ultimately, as Lord Buddha has said, we are our own savior. So Tibetan lamas run around telling you that this one will save you. It contradicts what Buddha has said. So I'm not contradicting. I am giving you or sharing with you a method that you engage in. So it isn't simply just reciting blah, 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 and then just doing the mantra blah, 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 and then putting a little tea light candle there from Ikea. No, it's not about that. It's much more. It's much more. So what happens is it's very healing. And people who engage in the practice say, oh, I'm not well. It's like people who work in a company or people who work in a job or people who go to school and they say the school's horrible, but there's so many graduates. The school's not horrible. Maybe you didn't put your energies into it. So just because you're not successful at something doesn't mean that thing is bad. It means that maybe it's a wake-up call for all of us. So what happens, Lama Tsongkhapa, on top of that, for healing and depression, it creates a very good feng shui in your house. I don't like that word, but I can't think of another word right now, you know. Harmonious energy, because Lama Tsongkhapa's energy is a very harmonious type of energy. In places of war, in Tibet in the past, in places of earthquakes or calamities or diseases, they make very large Lama Tsongkhapa statues to settle the area down. And so what happens is it calms the area, it calms the mind. Why? Because Lama Tsongkhapa is not, we're not praying to the brass image here. Lama Tsongkhapa represents a physical aspect of the enlightened mind. It is a physical representation. No Buddhists pray to statues or images or tankas. No Buddhists. That's certainly not in Tibet. Those only remind you of the energies out there. And there are two types of energies. The outer energy of these beings who have achieved that state of mind, enlightenment. And when you see these images is a reminder of what you can achieve and the potential. So when you see Lama Tsongkhapa, you're seeing your own potential there. When you prostrate and you pray to Lama Tsongkhapa, you recite the mantras, you are activating your own potential. It's like going to the gym. You know, if you're 500 kgs, you go to the gym. If you work out and you really follow a program, you got a good trainer, you can achieve your results. You can definitely achieve. But if you weren't naturally able to lose weight and become fit, no matter how much you train, you could not be. So being fit and, okay, thin, whatever you think looks good is inherently in you. You cannot develop something that's not in you. So therefore, your body is naturally prone to healing, getting well, and being fit. Therefore, if you activate the methods on the outside to bring that state about for your body, then it happens. It happens. So if you have light skin and you like to be tan, well, you're not going to be tan. You're going to get skin cancer. When you get it after a while, it's going to fade off because it's not naturally there. It's not naturally there. So therefore, if your body's natural state is health, your body's natural state is fit, your body's natural state is healing, and our bodies are always trying to do that. Our bodies are always trying to heal itself and make itself fit and make itself very comfortable. It's always trying to do that. It's whether we help it do it or not. I mean, if we drink 20 Coca-Colas a day and we watch TV and our breakfast is Doritos and lunch is potato wedgies, and nighttime, din din is of course coney dogs from A&W, and dessert we wash it down with a waffle and a root beer float. You're not helping your body heal itself, are you? You're not. But its natural state is to heal itself, and therefore when we go to a gym and we work out, we have a good routine. I'll give you a very normal example. Your body will become fit. Yes, there are people who go to the gym who are after 1 year you look at them and you just go, oh, you look different. I mean, you're being very diplomatic. I mean, I come to the gym, I look at people after a year, 6 months, I go, God, is it the gym or the person? I know I'm quite bitchy. I usually don't say anything. When I go to the gym, I keep quiet. I don't want to talk. I don't want to make friends because I want to concentrate. It's not that I don't like people. I love people. I like to meet people out, but I like to concentrate. So in any case, like that in Tibetan Buddhism, you've got nasty, horrible, evil, scary people. Horrible. You think everybody in Tibet's fabulous like me? No. There are people in Tibet who are nasty. Yes, hard to believe. I hate to spring the cat out of the bag. It's true. Not everybody in Tibet's like me. Sorry. So anyway, my point is this. There are nasty, evil people everywhere. But you see, that doesn't make Tibetan Buddhism bad. It makes the person not practicing what they have learned. So if you see someone nasty in a Dharma center, of course no one here is nasty, because you know what, I'm nastier. They get nastier, I really get nasty. But it's not Tibetan Buddhism, it's not the center, it's not representative, it's that person. Malaysia is a beautiful country, but there are 1 or 2 evil people in Malaysia. So if we meet those 1 or 2 evil people, not all Malaysia is bad. It's that person. So similarly, our bodies are made to heal. Our bodies are made to grow strong. We have to help it through diet, through exercise, through maintenance. We have to help it. Similarly, our mind is made to be happy. Think about it logically. Your mind is made to be happy. Everything you do is to achieve happiness. Everything. You work to become happy. You go to school so you can work to have money to be happy. You have partners so the partners can make you happy. You have cars to make you happy. You groom to make yourself happy. Everything you do is some aspect of making yourself very happy. Everything that you do from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, even going to sleep is to make yourself happy. So that you can wake up fresh and beautiful, not having lines and eye bags so everybody tell you you're beautiful, then you're happy. That's not why I go to sleep. But anyways, I've heard people. Anyways, Vajrasattva is when you tell a little white lie and you purify yourself. It's for this Buddha. That's the Buddha of purification. So when I tell a little white lie, I say, Vajrasattva, oops, my secret came out. For some of you, you're going to have to buy a whole statue to purify, but never mind, bigger than that. Alright. My point is, your mind is made to be happy. So what you put inside your mind will make you happy or unhappy. Think about it. That's very logical. Who's going to refute that? Who's going to refute that? That's very logical. So therefore, what you put in and how you train it up, how you train your mind up is how much happiness you have. Thank you. How much you train your mind up is how much happiness you have. And how you train it is the information you give it to train. To make yourself happy. So Lama Tsongkhapa can take care of symptomatic problems on the road to healing, inner and outer. Definitely he can. Definitely he can. And he's wonderful because when you enact his mantra and you do his meditation over a long period of time, depending on your own level and your mind and your effort, you will see a transformation. Combine that with a light, listen to me, light study of the mind and its functions. For example, there's a wonderful book called Understanding the Mind by Geshe Kelsey Council. Very clear. It's translated directly from the Tibetan texts. Very clear. I don't care about authors. I look for clarity. And when you combine it with some light study, and you do it with some light recitation, and then that's two. The third thing that you do is you look at yourself at your strongest affliction, your strongest point that makes you always the most unhappy of what you do, and you attack it and you break it down. So let's say your strongest affliction is you always want to win. You're a very competitive person. Then you learn to let the other person win. Because in letting other people win, you win too. So it's like you attack it. So with your mental affliction, you take one, the strongest one, you can't take all. You start attacking it. And you don't give up. You know why? You're going to fail in your endeavor of attacking your strongest affliction again and again and again and again. Just like when you first ate, just like when you first walked, when you first left your parents, when you first worked, you have failed many times. And hence your victory now, independent grown-up adults. But that didn't come out with failures. That came out without failures. It came with trial and tribulation. Similarly, in your spiritual practice, don't you sit down, get an image of Lama Tsongkhapa, meditate, and tomorrow you're a Buddha. You can't be a culinary chef overnight. How can you be a Buddha? That's even greater. So similarly, if you take your strongest affliction, it can be anger, desire, miserliness, whatever it is, the strongest one, whoever you are, and you work on it day after day after day after day, you will fail. You will fail. You will go down. You will fall flat on your face. You'll be depressed, say, I hate myself. But if you get up and do it again and again and again, I promise you, it will become less. And that's how you attack your inner afflictions. I'm giving you the secret here. Whether you're white, you're black, or you're Michael Jackson, east or west, whether you come from a Christian background, a no background, or whatever Taoist background, they're all beautiful. Whether you're a guy or a girl or something in between or both, who cares? It's fabulous. It doesn't matter. The mind is what we're interested in. And the mind is what we're attacking. Everybody has the right to be happy. Everyone. And the key to happiness is not oppressing others or taking others or pushing others down or hurting others or taking advantage or cheating. That's not the key to happiness. The key to happiness is taking our strongest affliction and working on it and chipping it away with time. When we chip away at it with time, we will see a lesson. When that lessens, the reactions that would have arisen from that mind will become less. When the reactions that arise from that mind become less, the counter reactions back to us from others will become less. Then you'll experience more peace. So the more we don't change this mind, the more we will react from it, and it becomes solidified, stronger, and more. Why? With this type of mind, we'll only make more unhappiness and more enemies. So we'll have more people to fight off, more beings to fight off. And then in the end, it's very tiresome. If we change this habit, whatever it might be, then what happens is we react from it. If we usually react, example, from anger 10 times a day, we react 9 times, 8 times, 7 times. With time, it becomes less. When we act less from anger, the reaction from that is less, and then the counter reaction from others towards us becomes less. Becomes much less. And when that becomes less, we experience some happiness. Why? More harmony. We're more in control. And that's the secret. That is the key to practicing. Along with that, to encourage that practice, we study what we study what an enlightened Buddha has achieved in his enlightenment, and we apply it. We apply different methods, and we will fall many times. Depressed, unhappy, never mind. Depressed, unhappy, you failed again, you get up, you do it again, do it again, do it again. You have to do it again. That's life. And therefore, if you don't like to put effort, don't wash yourself, because tomorrow you can get dirty again. Don't wash your hair. Next week it's going to be dirty. So why wash yourself? Why even brush your teeth? It's going to get dirty again. Simple. But unfortunately, with our body and our hair and our teeth, no matter what, how much times we wash it, it's going to get dirty. Its nature is to get dirty. And in the end, it fails us because it becomes something to be buried in the ground. It just fails us. It becomes our own traitor. I think I read that in Nagarjuna. Our own bodies become our own traitors. And what happens is, but if you do that to your mind, everything arises from the mind. Therefore, all situations will change. And in the future, we'll talk about it more in depth about reincarnation. I'm not going to get into it tonight because of lack of time. But when you develop your mind, that is what you take with you when you die. And when you die and you take rebirth, you will continue from where your mind has left off. So if you're an angersome, hateful, childish person, you'll be reborn as that and continue what you were doing. Maybe not necessarily as a human being. If you develop your mind to a certain stage of meditation, when you take rebirth again and you come back, you're going to act out from that state of mind. That level. And hence, there are beings from time of birth, they exude or exhibit a different character, different type of mind, a different type of way of doing things. And this type of mind that's developed themselves on this type of level, being seen by a mind at this level, this mind can only perceive this much, cannot perceive that. Therefore, this mind on this level, perceiving or looking, perceiving this person on this mind, from his level or her level of this much to this much, they can see and they agree. Anything above that, they will find fault. Why? Because their mind is not at the level to perceive. And therefore, normal beings who are unpracticed, unmeditated, and also unlearned, they misjudge people, friends, teachers, other Dharma students. They misjudge all the time, and they form an opinion. And it's very dangerous for them. Because they think they know this much. But you see, their experience is only this much. Their mental awareness and ability and power of perception is this much. So on another person, they can only perceive that much. But if that person is advanced to a more higher state, everything above that, this person will see as negative. Even compassion will be seen as lack of compassion by this person to this person. Why is that? He doesn't have or she doesn't have the perception or the knowledge or ability to perceive. And then we misjudge. Example. As a young child, did you see a lot of things that what your parents did was wrong? Unfair? cruel, nasty punishments. But when you grow up and you look back, and some of you have it's not necessary to have your own kids, but if you have your own kids, you look back and say, oh, now I understand. And then we appreciate our mothers very much, our fathers very much. While when we look back, we understand. Similarly, I'm giving you a very basic, fundamental example of the level of the mind. I don't want to give you some spaced out example of some high lamas living on the moon, because they actually live there. I'm telling you a real example. That even as a child, when you're growing up, you have a lot of doubts, and you fight, and you scream at your parents or whatever, and because they're wrong. But when you grow up, you go, oh, I understand. Like that, when you go into a company the first time, and you look at the boss, you look at these people, like blah, 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 everybody's wrong. You're right. But when you're in the company for a while, and you're making money, and everything's all right, so, oh, now I understand. Like that, there are people in different meditative states who have attained certain states. And the way they enact skillful means, speech, talking, compassion, benefit to people, will not match our level of the mind, because we are not capable of enacting that many multifaceted ways of benefiting people. So therefore, when we generate doubt, it cuts our potential to reach that state. Why? If you can judge someone who can be better, but you judge them wrongly, you are cutting the potential of saying that no one can reach a higher state than yourself. So if no one can reach a higher state than yourself, why meditate, why pray? Grab your towel, go to the beach, get skin cancer. It's very simple. Isn't it more fun? Much more fun to get skin cancer. Haven't you seen Donatella Versace? Without the touch-ups? I've seen it. I wanted to send her some Tibetan moisturizer and tell her to drink it. But anyways, I like her. She's cool. I like her because she's herself. She's the only one that she thinks she looks great, but you gotta delete that, huh? So my point is this, so when you're at this level, and you judge, or you include, or you make summarizations from your level, and I'm not putting you down, I'm there too, then we cut out all potential of anything higher. So if you're always, in simple language, if you're always right and everybody's wrong, you will never ever expand your mind to become better. Why? Everybody's wrong. You're the best one on the whole universe. In the whole universe, you are the best. You are not even in the center. You're on top. So if everybody's wrong around you, you're right. Those type of people, if you observe, they don't improve and grow. Their mind don't expand. Why? Because they have this fixed view. Everybody's wrong, and I'm right. It may not be negative or positive. It's just a state of mind. There's no judgment here. Similarly, in the Tibetan tradition of practice, especially in the higher tantras, when we've taken refuge with our teacher and we still see faults, it's not the teachers with or without faults. It's you focusing on the faults and you cutting your own potential to anything higher. Why? You always observe faults. And therefore you preclude, you cut out any potential of anybody being higher or better. So even when you're in the midst of practicing, in the midst of lamas or advanced people or dharma people or people who really meditate and practice, you will see them with faults. You will see them as not compassionate, not skillful, or wrong, or because why? You look at the action and just immediately that particular segment. You don't look at the whole picture. Why? A, you're not capable of looking further. B, habituation. C, you have by habituation discluded anyone who can achieve a higher state. And therefore our lack of faith or lack of understanding of an enlightened mind, such as Buddha's mind, also stems from that on a deeper level. Much deeper. Science can prove a few things, but scientists are limited to their minds also. And to a very short space of time, 70, 80 years. People who have big degrees and they're scientists and stuff like that, doesn't mean they're happy. Doesn't mean their mind is beneficial to others. They have all the passions like everybody else. So when we negate the possibility of a higher mind, of a better mind, then you know what's the damage? Yeah, sure, you think this person's an idiot, you don't think they're smart, whatever. It's all right. But when we negate or cut out any possibility of a higher type of thinking or mind or attainments, we actually damage ourselves. Why? Then we automatically have concluded there's no higher states of mind. I am where I am. So when you pray to a Buddha, it becomes false. When you meditate or take refuge, it's false. When you do your mantras, it's false, and therefore hence no results. When you do your sadhanas and you do your retreats and mandala offerings and soap rituals, it's false. So there are people in Dharma 10, 15, 20 years. They've been in the biggest organization, small organization. There's no change in their mind. Why? They have an inherent grasping towards there's no higher mind than what they have. And they're stuck. And hence no advancement in practice. People always ask, how come so many years in Dharma still like that? I gave you the answer. Why? The judgmental mind that wishes to only think that your mind is right. And there's no higher level of mind is your enemy. Of course, you don't run around thinking everybody's smarter than you and you're stupid. No. There must be a balance, a middle way. Just as Buddha always says, a middle way. So therefore, practice knowledge. What I'm giving you right now is knowledge. See, I'm not talking about taking refuge or doing ceremonies. I'm not talking about some exotic practices or yogic meditation or run away to the Himalayas and we hang out in the Himalayan snows with no clothes on, and some of you, please keep your clothes on. Yeah, some of you, please keep your clothes on. That includes me, I know. But that's because I don't want to excite anybody. The ego, huh? Like, what kind of lama is this? I told you, I'm not Dalai Lama, I'm not enlightened. I bought my throne. I told you I bought it. Very expensive, part payment can. I'll sell it to you if you want it. You ain't gonna make no money, but anyways, you can sit there and scream at people and tell them how wonderful they're not and you are. It's more fun that way. You go home with a lot of confidence, they're not wonderful and you're wonderful. Anyways, so now what was I before you interrupted me again? Yes. So when we have this type of mind, it's very hard to improve. It's very hard to improve on our practices. It's very hard to improve on our sadhana. So we may have a lot of knowledge in Dharma, but our mind will not improve. Why? We have an inherent grasping. Inherent grasping, meaning this type of grasping, very deep by habituation. I know they don't. Okay. So what I'm giving you knowledge here is, I'm giving you knowledge, logic, what we learned in the monasteries, what they teach us for year after year after year. We have to sit there for 12 hours a day, no moving, no farting, no eating, no nothing. Yeah, one wrong move, some of these monks, the disciplinarian monks got a big long stick. Trust me, it's not the stick that hurts, it's you getting hit on the head in front of 500 other monks. That's what hurts. They all laugh at you. You're not supposed to laugh, you're a monk. When we were very young in the monasteries, we had bread, we mixed that with the tea, and I never got caught because I was sneaky and fast. So I used to be in the back of the monastery with all the, because there's all these thousands of them. Some of these monks get on my nerves, sorry to say. Some of them, they're not meditating, they're pretending that they're like, I'm like, they're not meditating, and they're very smart. They don't face that way, so disciplinarian walk up and down cannot see them. And I'm facing, I'm like, this is so unfair. 12 hours of pujas and meditation and prayer, and they're sitting there sleeping, and I'm sitting there chanting and meditating and being a good little boy here. And so I thought, I'll compassionately wake them up. So I take my bread, I mix it with the tea, and it makes it very round, and then you make one of those spitballs. And I couldn't do it, but some of the monks were very good at getting it in the mouth. That's why they say never chant with your mouth open and gone in. I can never get it in the mouth. I tried. The closest I got was their neck. They'd be like, and I'm like, Oh, I did that a lot. I was a nasty little person. And when I got my rank, because I was discovered and all this rank, and I became a Rinpoche and all that stuff. And I was moved to the center of the monastery where everybody watches you. No more spitballs. I have to be really good. Sit there and pretend I was meditating the whole time. Always wasn't easy because the hall is huge. Please see the video, it's huge. It was fun. It's fun when you're a kid, you hang around the monastery because the monks are wonderful people and they're fun. And they can have fun. They're not stiff necks. They don't run around with maroon robes, flying here, walking over water. No, there are a couple of us that eat potato chips and hang out. I used to sneak away to the city and rent videos and watch videos. Horror videos, I loved it. Because we weren't allowed to watch videos in the monastery. But later when I got my rank, I snuck a few videos in the monastery and I watched it. And the disciplinarian was my friend, he says, keep it low.